What's up everybody, Noir here again. Today I want to make a video because before the end of the year and just to have something you guys can see around the farm. And I promise also I'll be talking about the new plot. But yeah, this is filmed on the 28th of December. So I want to show you guys the greenhouse, the tomato greenhouse, because it's right before I'm harvesting it. Tomorrow I'm harvesting it. So that's going to be done tomorrow. And yeah, I want to show you guys the production of a greenhouse that's pretty much full in production right now. Alright, we're in tomato greenhouse. As everybody can see, we're pretty much in full production right now. And you can see most of the tomatoes over there are already done. Some few here, and yeah, you can see all the reds and the colors in tomato. Let me just show you around. This is the production of the tomatoes as of late. So you guys can see that most of them are already producing. They're pretty big. They're red. I am pretty happy at the productions. And also the production that's coming right now are also pretty good. You guys can see down here. See the amount of tomatoes we have. So you guys can see all of the amount of tomatoes I have right now. This is going to be harvested tomorrow. Some of the big tomatoes, those I have produced some few, but they are not as prolific as the cherry tomatoes. This is the variety of this one is Sakura, and it's a very productive. It's a very productive breed of tomatoes. And here you guys can see all the other tomatoes. Here I got the big ones. So I got one here, some couple. And yeah, they have been producing quite well. Nothing bad to say about them. This year I did keep up with the nutrient and then keep on top of it every week or every 2 weeks. I'll just load them with nutrient that I make compost tea. So you put compost in a bucket of water, you add non-chlorinated water, and you let it ferment for about 24 hours. In this case I'm using some worm castings. I'm throwing in a bucket, fill it up with water, non-chlorinated water, or you can use chlorinated water, but you gotta let it out for 24 hours and then you can add it to it. So then the bacteria and the fungal microbes will grow and they will break down the nutrient from the compost, and it will make it easier for the plant to absorb it. And the microbes and the bacteria that's in the soil will benefit quite a lot from this process. Easy way to start giving a lot of nutrients to your plants quite quickly and consistently without needing to add new compost on top. So yeah, I hope that's a little explainable. Maybe I'll make a video about it in the future. But it's an old school way of making compost tea. Nowadays you can use bubblers and other structures that does the same, and you can get the fungal and yeah, the more technical stuff. Yeah, for me most of the times when I'm growing tomatoes, what I'm looking for is the new flower buds if they're producing. Most of the times the old ones, I already know they're fruiting and they're growing great. But the new buds is the difference in the quality of the plant, how it's growing. So in this case, I can see this tomato plant is new buds. This is a new flower bud, but here's another one. And you can see most of them have already the flower buds have already converted. So they already converted into fruiting tomatoes. So that I know that this plant is enough with nutrient and it'll be producing for the future. That's how I target my nutrient cycle. If I see some of the buds of the flowers have not, if I see some of the buds of the flower not producing anything, I'll probably start giving it more nutrient once or twice that week. All right, that was a quick run through. I tried to make it a quick run through from the tomato greenhouse. You guys can see how the production of that is pretty high. and I do attribute that to the thanks to the airflow into the greenhouse. Normally I'll start getting right now a lot of fungus problem with blight and powdery mildew, and I will lose most of the crops. But this year, that fan, those two fans and the shade cloud below it, that helps lessen the moisture, the humidity in the greenhouse, have made it quite efficient. So yeah, let's go to the new plot. So yeah, now we're at the main plot. I don't want to talk mostly about the beds because that's I think I'll make another video in the early of the year, hopefully. But either ways, I want to talk about the design of this farm, because the design structure of this farm is different than the first one I made. These have more criteria that I needed to be addressed. So yeah, let's start about the block size. The block size and the bed structure is the same. So I have 10 beds in a block, and yeah, the length is the same, the 40 feet. That's the same structure, the same type of block. On top, I have it here, so it's producing the same amount of value crop. So everything gets standardized. So if I ever have to move, I have all the irrigation set up that could fit every block structure. This farm was designed mostly for access to the main plot. So this sideways from the fence to where the bed starts is around 3 meter 50, so that I can move any heavy equipment through this spot so that I can use it on the main plot where I'm going to be building in about a year or two. The bigger farm or big fruit trees structure. It's a bit more complicated. When I'm there, I'll start explaining it, but it's way more complicated. Either ways, when you're starting up a new bed structure, in my case, these beds, I did not water them efficiently. Some of the crops didn't germinate well. You can see from the beet beds and the arugula beds, you can see some of them didn't germinate that well. When you're starting up a bed, try to water the beds at least a week before. Just keep it moist enough so that it holds all the compost holds all the water. Then you start planting. I thought back in the day when I started it, I didn't even have irrigation when I planted the beets bed and the arugula bed. There were two, but I removed one already. I didn't have irrigations for them, so most of them didn't germinate that great. And this side also not having that efficient of growth. So I have most of the irrigation system already set up, and most of the beds here are already planted. There's only one bed that's not planted. So here I got the kale. I have sugar snap peas, but they didn't transplant that great. I don't know. I'm probably gonna seed some kale here too. These are, I seeded yesterday. These are beets. This is gonna be arugula and spinach. This is the last bed I need to plant in. So next to it is the same. This is planted with arugula and spinach. This is the first lettuce being planted on this lot. I'll be talking a bit about this one too, because it's a whole different structure than I'm used to growing, and I want to test it out. And this being the last beets bed. I'll be having another block here in the future, but due to time, and I wanted to check out if the market can hold the amount of production I'm pushing out. So there will be another bed structure here. I hope you guys found this interesting, or at least a little informative about the greenhouse and just a small talk about the plot. I'll try to make another video in the future about that, but time is a bit cramped right now. I just finished harvesting a few minutes ago, and even now a few minutes ago. I'll be washing veggies later today. I got nothing more to say. I hope you guys have a great new year. Almost forgot. Peace. Paso bom dia.